Howdy y'all, it's Ryan from R&A Music, your favorite mom and pop guitar shop and music lesson studio. Deep in the heart of Texas. That's where we're at, and it is new stuff day. New stuff day. Crazy new stuff day. Let's go. There are timestamps in the description of this video. There's gonna be quite a bit of talking at the beginning for this unboxing, and then telling the story, a couple of stories, a couple of recommendations for people. There is gonna be a little bit of playing and sound samples in this video, so be sure, if you're impatient, if you're an impatient person, if you're the kind of person who likes to just get to the whatever, timestamps, go look at them. So it's a new guitar day, and normally I do unboxing videos. You may have seen those over the last 14 years of doing this. And today was actually a very first time situation for me. Normally guitars arrive here at the shop or at my house. Then if it's at the house, I bring them to the shop, and then I do an unboxing video and show you guys the joys of that. Some people hate unboxings. Some people are fascinated by unboxings. I don't know. It's just something I do. Today was a first, because essentially, I had to unbox this bad boy on my front porch. That's right, at my house. FedEx came and brought the guitar, signature required. And the box was a little smushed in some places, and I was like, that looks a little funky. He's like, yeah, you wanna open it up right now? I'm like, if you don't mind, I know you guys are on a schedule. He's like, no, we're good. I'd rather, if you have to send it back, I'd rather take it right now. I was like, okay, let me go get a pocket knife. He's like, here you go, got you one. He handed me his pocket knife. Super nice, young guy, tattoos, FedEx delivery dude. I think he was a musician. Anyways, so I literally had to open it on my front porch, and I gotta say, it was very fast shipping. It was not packed very well. Number one, because the triangle box that the guitar actually came in was not taped shut, and the guitar was kind of halfway out of this box. It was wrapped in a little cellophane wrapper, which is good, but this box itself is actually like ripped and in pretty horrible condition. It's Wylde audio. Oh my gosh, Wylde audio. This did not come directly from Wylde audio, so I'm not throwing them under the bus. I'm throwing the just, you know, everyday dude, warehouse worker, pulling guitar, shoving it in a box and sending it off. I'm throwing that guy under the bus. I'm not gonna really say where I got it from, but I did get it at a really good price. A B stock. So there was I expected there to be some kind of blim, and I've bought B stock guitars before that showed up like zero B stock, zero blims. A lot of times big stores will label something as open box or B stock just to get around the MAP pricing and to just to move it. If they got a bunch of them and they need to move them, sometimes big stores will do that. We're a little bitty mom and pop shop. Number one, we pack our stuff super great. Like I would have taped up this box really well, which is what I usually do. That's what I do when I ship guitars. And I've shipped guitars to England and Australia, Hawaii. I was reading what the blim was, but I'll show you that. I've shipped guitars all over the freaking world. I'm trying to think how many guitars I've actually shipped. It's a lot. Over 100, hundreds? Over 100 guitars, for sure over 100 guitars I have shipped. You know, as a little bitty, super tiny, very small guitar mom and pop shop. But I'm also the guy who owns the shop. My face is on the door, and I'm the guy who packs the stuff. I'm not just an employee working for corporate overlords. So anyways, whatever. The point is, I had to open the box on my front porch, pull the guitar out, unwrap the cellophane in front of the FedEx guy, and like just check it and make sure it wasn't, you know, snapped headstocks or broken necks or anything of that crazy stuff. And I was a little disappointed that this box was not even taped shut, and the guitar wasn't even fully in the box. Like that could have been disastrous. So I don't actually get to unbox the guitar for you guys. I just wanted to show you the box and tell you a story about sadness Okay, let's look at the guitar. What we've got here is a Wylde Audio raw top. Blood Eagle is the model. Raw top, maple fretboard. Let's look at that. Yes, so stinking excited. Let me tell you a little story about Zakk Wylde. If you watch our channel, you'll know that a couple weeks ago we went to see Zakk SABBATH in Dallas at the Granada Theater. It was super awesome.
Boyfriend Junior or James? Yeah, I know James.
We did the whole VIP thing. I got to meet Zakk, got a hug from Zakk, got our picture together with the family, with Angela and Aiden, got him to sign my Epiphone Camo Zakk Wylde signature guitar. As a young guitar player coming up, 89, 90, 91, early 90s, Zakk was one of my bigger influences as a young guitar player. With his work with Ozzy first, of course. I think No More Tears was my first exposure to Zakk Wylde and his playing, which is a phenomenal record. Going, Pride and Glory came out. I stinking loved Pride and Glory record. Went on Book of Shadows, and of course the Black Label Society got started, all that sort of stuff. So huge fan. Zakk, Dimebag Darrell, Metallica, you know, all that stuff. Big, huge heroes of mine. So a year or two ago, I got the Camouflage, the Camo Epiphone Zakk Wylde guitar, which is my favorite of his Gibson era guitars, was the Camo. And that was also the first time I ever saw a Les Paul with a maple fretboard, which normally I am not a big fan of maple fretboards. I just gotta say that. I've never been a fan, never, you know, you tend to see them on Fenders a lot, and I'm not really a Fender guy. Personally, I prefer G-style guitars and other brands, Schecter, you know, ESP, PRS, you know, but you just don't tend to see maple fretboards on a Les Paul, and I thought that was super rad because you just don't see it. It's super kind of rare, and that actually kind of kickstarted my fascination with getting single cut Les Paul style guitars with maple fretboards, and now I have like 5 single cut Les Paul style guitars with a maple fretboard. When Wylde Audio came out, I was like, I don't know. Obviously a huge Zakk fan. And then when the first initial run of them came out, of course, you know, you could only buy them at Guitar Center, which was a little bit of a thing I wasn't super happy about. Already being a Schecter dealer since '09, I couldn't become a dealer. Still haven't actually become a dealer for Wylde Audio. I've just kind of been watching from the sides and just checking it out. And obviously, if you know much about Wylde Audio, their shapes are pretty out there, man. You know, they're very, you have a guttural reaction. I think it was a visceral reaction to the Wylde Audio guitar shapes. And some of them I was like, well, you know, I don't know. I feel like they are the current, like the modern day, they're the BC Rich of today, in a way, with all the new shapes they have, the thorax that just came out, and all the other shapes. Now they got some, as they've gone along, they've come out with a few more shapes. I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. This one, the Blood Eagle, is obviously inspired by Explorer style guitar. I have a Gibson Explorer. That was my first real guitar I bought with my own money. Freaking love Explorers. And when this came out, I was like, okay, I like that. And then they came out with this one with the maple fretboard. I don't know that I've ever seen an Explorer style guitar with a maple fretboard. And so this one particularly piqued my interest. Flame top. Look at that flame back veneer. 3-piece maple neck, I'm a big fan of that. I've used that on a couple of custom builds we've had commissioned. So I always like this one. Now this one's been out for a couple of years. I think this is Oh wait, this is a new one. This particular iteration of the Blood Eagle has been out for a couple of years. And when I first saw it, I was like, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. It was the first Wylde audio guitar that I was like, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I want that. And then of course, going to the VIP meet and greet, Zakk SABBATH, finally, you know, lifelong bucket list thing, getting to meet Zakk in person, say hello, exchange a couple of words, got a hug, you know, but seeing how he treated all the fans in person was really interesting. I've always thought and knew, he seemed like he was a great guy, very down to earth, very, you know, obviously a huge rock star, but not like a douchebag diva rock star. Kind of very down to earth guy. Like he remembers his roots. He knows we're all just people. And he treats it, I'm just sitting there watching every single person who went through the line. He was the one who interacted with them and brought them over to the little photo booth, and everybody got hugs, and he was just like super gracious, you know. And I was like, just watching how he interacted with people was like, man, he's a good guy. Which made me, you know, I've been a fan since I was a kid, but it was like really upped up my respect level. And so so after that, after the whole wonderful, you know, Zakk SABBATH experience, I was like, oh, okay, now I really want a Wylde audio. This is the specific one I wanted. I kind of was tracking some down, doing some searching, because again, I'm on a budget, and I was able to find one that was, technically it's a B stock, and it was listed, and I did, you know, did some negotiating back and forth on reverb, and came to what I felt like was a fair price and shipping and all those kind of things. So I have no complaints about the speed of the shipping. I thought the blim, obviously there's a little spot here on the neck where there's just, you know, it's just like a knot in the wood, a piece of grain that kind of sticks out. I thought that was it at first. That was the first thing I noticed. Not a big deal. Wood has grain. It does things. It's wood. Then as I was continuing to hunt, I found there's two little dings, two little kind of dings on the back of the headstock and a scratch. And I'm like, oh, okay. Nobody's gonna see that. That's not a big deal, in my opinion. Looking at a bunch of the ones, you know, grain, even with veneers, grain is sometimes hit and miss. This particular one, I felt like the grain was really nice, evenly distributed, super poppin'. I love that there's grain on the back, and nobody's gonna see that really but me, but I stinking love this. I'm so excited about this guitar. So you've listened to me waffle on. I'm not gonna throw the person I bought it from under the bus. It was a big store. It was a big online retailer, we'll put it that way. And again, somebody pulling something from stock and put it in a box and put it in a box and put a label on it, right? That's the thing you get with small businesses, is you get sometimes a little more personal attention. Sometimes it's the owner of the business or the owner of the guitar boxing it and shipping it to you. And sometimes it's just, I don't want to say just an employee, but you know, sometimes I've been just an employee making minimum wage, just doing labor, and like, you know, upper management doesn't really care about you, and maybe you had a bad day. I don't know. So all in all, I'm gonna talk to them about the shipping and be like, hey guys, just a heads up. This one could have easily gotten destroyed with the way it was packed, and then it would have had to come back, and then they would have been out a bunch of money, and that would have sucked. I tend to overpack when I ship things, just because I really don't want it to get destroyed in transit. And who wants to deal with that kind of, you know, returns because it was improperly packed? Anyways, I'm gonna contact them, see what they say. I'm just gonna say, hey, you know, I'm not returning it because I like it and I want it, and it plays, and it's not, as far as I can tell, not damaged from any of the shipping issues. So I'm not sending it back or anything like that. But just note to people shipping guitars, man, like, tape the boxes. Tape the boxes. It's pretty simple. Let's get some tones. That was some quick and dirty sound samples. I was just running through the Devil Cat Jimmy right there, going into the EVH 4x12 SM57 mic, just direct into recording software, no post-production EQ, any of that stuff. So just quick and dirty. I didn't have time. I'm like, I don't do the whole, let me go write a track and record it and then, you know, mix it and master it and do all these things, play alongside. I mean, maybe someday I'll do that. I would love to do that. That'd be great. I don't have that kind of time on my hands. So just quick and dirty sound samples. Hope you liked it. If you are a normal subscriber to our channel, I think you're gonna see this guitar pop up quite a bit in the coming weeks and months. I'll do some more videos with this guitar for sure. Go check out our Instagram, Facebook. You'll see this stuff popping up, especially on the grams. Go follow RN Music Instagram. If you follow my personal Instagram, you'll probably see this pop up a bit too, or my music Instagram, whatever. Sorry, I'm freaking looking at it in the in the monitor of the camera. I was like, oh man, I really like how this thing looks. It does have one of the things people have said about the Wylde audio guitars is the chunky necks. It's not that chunky, actually. I was afraid it was going to be like, I think the last Wylde audio guitar I played at a store somewhere, which is a couple of years ago, it was a fairly chunky neck, but it's not thin. Let's not pretend it's thin, but it's certainly not unmanageable. I've played way thicker necks than this, so I was afraid this was gonna be one of those chunky chunks. But it is a little bit thicker than some of my others. Definitely thicker than a Gibson Explorer. My Gibson Explorer neck, I guess it's like a 60s slim taper or something. That thing on my actual Gibson Explorer is like, it's pretty thin, honestly. So this is more substantial than that, but it's not stupid thick. So I forgot to talk about that earlier. I like this a lot. It's not very heavy, and I like that too. It's not light. It's not as light as my Flying V. It's pretty light. This is not that light, but it's not so heavy. It's going to give me problems with my shoulder when I'm standing and gigging and playing. So, all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned. We're going to have this guitar and some others. I actually have 2 unboxing videos from 2023 that I have not ever published. 2? Yes. 2? I don't know. There's a couple from 23 that I filmed the unboxing, but I never got to the play test. Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Big thank you to the Zakk Wylde Camp and management for hooking us up with the Zakk SABBATH VIP stuff. Barbaranne and the tour manager and everybody was like super kind to us. So I thank them very much for that. It was an amazing experience. Definitely convinced me, like, all right, I've been eyeballing this for a while. After that Zakk SABBATH show, I was like, I gotta get one now, because it was just such a good time with Angela and Aiden, and we had a great time, and it was like, it was a top 10 moment for sure. I like this one a lot. All right, see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive. Don't forget it. The music needs you. We need the music. We need to keep it alive for the next generation. We'll see you then. All right, bye guys.